Hey, welcome back to Evil's Comics. I'm Evil Mike, and this is going to be my reviews for comics that were released on August 4th, 2021. This is going to be part 3. Um, get straight into it. This is by Marvel, Sinister War number 2, and this one's pretty cut and dry. The story is you got 30 villains after Spider-Man. Um, on some level, they are all we are shown that they are all kind of brought together by kindred. In a basic sum up, that's basically all it is. Spider-Man had already encountered them in the last session. Basically, at this point, it is like it's set up on teams like the Sinister Six, the Sacred Six, and it's like 5 groups of 6 individuals that are after Spider-Man. Um, and basically, I mean, the whole sum up of this comic, besides the different teams fighting themselves to get the Spider-Man one after the other, in the background, we're learning that, of course, it was all kindred. There is another thing in the female group. They are showing that they have 7 members, and it looks like Craven's daughter. I'm not sure who she is. Reminder that I am kind of been absent out of Marvel for a little bit, like 5 years. Like the whole female team, I'm not even sure on half of the members of the female team. There's a female Doc Ock, I know her. Some of the other one, like the Bunny Rabbit, I don't know who she is. I recognize her, I've seen her a lot, but I don't know. But they have like a female Electro. But basically, in the end, they kind of reveal that Kindred, like, he kind of kidnapped them early on, and he implanted these little worm things in their brains. So basically, he's just getting them to do what he wants to do, kind of like a Suicide Squad type of thing. I do get the feeling that they're kind of finally going to hint at who Kindred is, so I'm kind of looking forward to that one, because I have no idea what he is and what he can do, and because I mean he teleports here and there, but next up we have DC Comics Batman number 111. Man, this comic here, it kind of did exactly what I thought it was going to do. We had Future State, and we got to see a taste of what was coming, what they showed us, and I liked it overall. I liked what I read. I kind of stayed Batman-ish, in the Future State, but we kind of saw that in the future, at some point, Scarecrow is going to drop his Scarecrow persona and go back to his Crane persona. He will be working for the Magistrate with Simon Saint, and both that was revealed in the Batman comics and Harley Quinn Future State. So all this has kind of been leading up to this. Of course, with the next Batman and the Peacekeeper thing, the whole Dark Detective with the Peacekeeper thing, with Batman losing all his money through the Joker War. So Batman has gotten to see a taste of all this. I will say that Batman has played his part to the T. It's kind of like, DC is moving their chess pieces around, and everything's starting to kind of come to light. I will say it looks kind of glorious ahead, man. DC is not disappointing in my opinion. From Death Metal to Infinity Frontier, Future State, there's been some good stuff, man. Joker War. So we are right back in with they are basically with Simon Saint, and the mayor has given Simon Saint the all go to track down the Insanity Collective, which is with Miracle Molly and her collective. The Peacekeeper program has showed up, and they are trying to arrest. They are even given the go ahead to kill. We see Molly kind of talking to this girl, and she's trying to enact a secret plan. We see Molly kind of reveals that her eye isn't just show. She calls it her magic eye, and she kind of enables something with the girl like the girl has some sonic powers enacted, activated. We do learn that like Molly is on the scientist level of things. Excuse me. Um, she is still being hunted by the Peacekeeper. We do see that she gets shot in the midst of things, trying to get away. Um, but this guy, Breaker, is one of the Insanity Collective. He's like their bodyguard. He shows up, and it is revealed that he's using these strength modifiers that Molly herself have created. At that was kind of the point where she was like kind of saying some things that she had invented along the way. She runs back, and this is like the kind of like the council and some of the more peaceful group. They are hiding in this vault, and Molly is running there trying to protect them. They have the peacekeeper, program, not just Peacekeeper 1, but the whole, like, it's a whole platoon, and they're on the other side of the door trying to break in, and Molly makes a comment like, who's gonna save us? And of course, Batman shows up with both his Robins, Ghostmaker and Harley Quinn, because currently, technically, that they're his Robins. They show up and they do, this whole Harley Quinn quote here, and I can read it for you, and it's like, that's right, you fox. She's like, don't mess with the Bat family, and she says it bad, like, bad, like bad, unless you want to get hit with a motherfucking bat, basically. They do end up like grabbing the whole Insanity Collective and whisking them away in the Ghost Stream, which is Ghostmaker's like ship. As they're like escaping, this guy Breaker tries to, he does put up a good fight with a Peacekeeper, but eventually it looks like he gets taken down and left behind as they get away on the ship. At that time, it shows that that the mayor of Gotham at the moment, I think his name is Nakiano, but he has given the go-ahead order that no costume heroes are allowed in Gotham, including like Superman, that kind of thing. And Simon Saint's just doing his, Okay, we see that in the midst of it, that Molly's little friend, she ends up getting shot as well. So it's a matter of like, at this point, on the good guy side, it's like Ghostmaker and them trying to save them. Batman goes off and he's trying to track down like Peacemaker, and he put a tracker in him to follow him. Tells him, he tells Harley and Ghostmaker to take the little girl and Molly and them somewhere safe. They kind of go to where Batman is tracking this, and we follow them there to Arkham Asylum, where down below, Scarecrow has a secret lab. We see like a hologram, and it's being portrayed throughout Peacekeeper. It's beaming off a Peacekeeper, and basically like Simon Saint's like, yes, the time has finally come, and it's basically the moment, the future state. Everything is happening. The Peacekeeper program has gone to T. Simon Saint and the mayor are on board for doing the Peacekeeper program. It's all legit. The last piece of the puzzle that we were missing was Scarecrow leaving his moniker behind and becoming, back to Dr. Crane and working for the magistrate. And it's all stated here and everything. And it's like, bam, it's coming, future state. And Scarecrow's like, fuck that. He was like, we're not doing that. He was like, what? He's like, bro, I have Gotham like on its knees. And he was like, you couldn't even do that with a war. He was like, bro, he was like, I got this. I don't need you. He was like, it's not going to be a future state, whatever this crap that you're doing. He was like, it's going to be a fear state. And of course, that is what's coming next. So they literally just flipped the script. One of the villains now, by meddling, now it is not going to play out the way that they gave us in future state, which it looks like to me. And it kind of more so because in the next scene, Scarecrow viciously attacks Peacekeeper 1 and injects his mind with this new, fear toxin stuff. Scarecrow even mentions that he's never even tried it on anybody or himself, so and he injects it right into his brain. Basically, that guy is, I don't see him being Peacekeeper that kills Batman, coming soon. I think that might be the last we see of him for a little while. But they even show you how crazy, the stuff was already turning, in his, I mean, he was flipping out right off the bat. They do show you that Scarecrow is on his game right here, that basically he knows Batman is there watching, and he even like flips the switch and Batman comes crashing down from the ceiling. So we do see that the Scarecrow basically has Batman kind of captured. And that's what it's leading up into Fear State. Next up is the side story, the Ghostmaker's side story, and the last issue. It's all about these villains that have gotten Ghostmaker and they're trying to kill him. They have him like in the last issue. They had like collapsed a whole building on him, and it's this whole story about like how like this one guy knows that he's not really dead because he's fought Ghostmaker before, and he's like the master of pain, and while fighting Ghostmaker he learned that Ghostmaker had previously trained and learned the same stuff, but not only that, but mastered it in a way that this guy couldn't do. He even tried like unleashing his master powers on Ghostmaker, and Ghostmaker like, bro, that's not, he was like, you're not doing it right, and basically like cast it back on him, and it basically shut the guy down for like 10 years, or he couldn't even be a villain anymore. So it's basically telling the other villains like, man, he might be under that building, and they show him right there with his hand coming out of the building and stuff, and they're like, man, that's him putting on a show, like he's not dead. It does say for the next issue of that Ghostmaker side story, it will continue in Batman Annual #1 on sale. It says 11/20/21, so we might have to wait a while for that, the ending of that side story. One moment. Thank you for that moment. Alright, next up we have DC's The Joker Presents a Puzzle Box, and what a great read. It is basically a murder mystery. The Riddler has been murdered. It basically, they have a bunch of villains like in lockdown, the police do, specifically Commissioner Gordon, and they are trying to figure out who killed the Riddler. And basically Joker is telling the whole story, and it seems at first like, he doesn't know what's going on. Basically it's a Saw type situation. If you've seen Saw the movie, if you can imagine, just switch out Jigsaw and put in Joker, and that's kind of what we're leading up to. But I will say it's like broken into 3 parts, because there's 3 parts of the story, and it's all like, this is the current, it's like the interrogation with Commissioner Gordon Bullock and the Joker, and they're asking what happened. Joker tells them that, and it's all told in Joker's perspective, which I thought was like excellent and amazing, and the art is fantastic. But it's set up where like he's saying he had a party at his house. He does state that he used his house in the ref. It's not really his house. They do go on this thing where he doesn't know what they ask what the party was, and he says he doesn't know or care. And it's one thing that the writer touched on perfectly is the way the Joker talks. Like every time they ask him a question, he has like a way, the logic of, it's very nice. It's something you would have to read to get, but a lot of it is told from Joker's perspective, him telling the story, like, and there is this ongoing joke that he knows who Batman's true identity is, and he calls him like Arnold, like, and he even like references like Commissioner Gordon. He's like, bro, you didn't know that Batman's real name was Arnold? Me and Batman are friends like that, like And then there's moments in the comic, like right here specifically, where Batman's like, he takes a break from beating everybody up, and he's like, Joker, man, I couldn't have done this without you, man. I'm Batman, but, man, Joker, you're the best. And Joker's like, Arnold, you rock, man, but really thanks to you, And so it's like this ongoing background, because he only mentions it a couple times, but every time he kind of talks in Batman in the third person towards Commissioner Gordon, it's always Arnold. He kind of tells this story on why Joker would have been murdered, and basically he tells the story that Joker found this ultimate like archaeology riddle thing that leading up to this treasure, and basically he went out looking for it, and so like and then they show you like they kind of that's where the three parts going, because they do this thing where they they do an interrogation with all the other criminals, and there's some funny stuff because technically at the party they never show any of the villains do anything, but they all did get arrested, and there is a couple of the villains that are like, why am I being arrested? What did I do? Like Killer Moss, like, man, I'll talk. You want to talk? I need a friend. Um, but they do go into the story where Riddler is learning about this ancient, thing, and he does find this scepter right here, and it's revealed that he needs to find like 5 gems or something like that to put it in that thing to. There is like one of my favorite parts in the comic is, and that's where the main thing is. He's got to find the scepter, and he's got to find 5 other like jewels to put it in there, and that's kind of the end of that story. But then it gets here, and it's like it does this whole background story where like after this, the Riddler goes to Joker, and I love this because Punchline's there, and they're at like a boxing match, and Riddler's basically like begging for help, but he's not really begging for help. He's like, "Please, man, let's team up. Jokes and riddles. We've had our like our past, and we've always been affiliated, and Joker just kind of lays it out like." To be honest, he's like, yeah, we have, but we're not friends. I don't know you. And he was like, and he keeps calling him Edward, and Joker even makes this reference. He was like, man, stop saying my name. He's like, it's not even fair that we can't, that none of us know your real name. And he was like, how convenient, the guy that's supposed to be able to solve stuff like riddles. And man, it's just, I mean, the art is like, it's very abstract and different, but it's supposed to be set in this nightclub setting. It totally fit the air, and man, it was really, really good. They do kind of go into like who's going to be the setup for the next story, which is going to be this group of villains. Looks like Catwoman, Mad Hatter, Penguin, Two-Face, Scarecrow, Man-Bat. Basically, they do show like at the end, Commissioner Gordon, while talking to Joker, learns one of the first clues that while they broke down the party and stuff, Joker was about to do something at the party. He revealed in the beginning of the story, and Commissioner Gordon finally catches on at the end. But it has something to do with this mystery puzzle box. Of course, that's the name of the title. But at the very end, it's this rush to and everybody don't touch it and don't move it, type situation. A very good read, man. An excellent read. I mean, the fact that Punchline was in there, I mean, I don't know. It was just to me, it was really funny. Like the first, I want to say 7, 8 pages, man. It was just comedy gold. The way they wrote it, in Joker's perspective, but how the logic is written into it. Things that Commissioner Gordon would say to him, and the way he would flip it and be like, well, I agreed. He was like, there's one time Commissioner Gordon's like, well, you agreed to help us. And he was like, no, I agreed to talk. And when you go back, that's exactly what Commissioner Gordon asked. He's like, we're looking for someone to talk. But, I really dug that. All right, we are running out of time. Let's see. All right, Red Room. Now, I'm not going to do the extreme rated R version. If you have kids, please do not allow them to watch this. I don't promote anything like this. This is a book that is very mature. It is my style of book. I mean, there's nothing in this book that like I'm offended by or it grossed me out or anything like that. Honestly, I think it has a lot to do with the art, because I do love the art. I love the art, and Ed Piskor writes and does the art, but it's done in a way where it's so cartoony. Like if it was real life, maybe. Yeah, I believe so, because there are some scenes, and he is very creative with his killing. Basically, this is torture porn. Red Room is a fictional place, or maybe a real place, but on the dark web, where people can go and they can watch people getting snuffed out for money. and basically, and I'll show some stuff, but I mean, quick, I mean, it is eye gorging, and basically, it is a costume person that is killing people for money. I thought this was going. It is a ongoing series, but it's not like continuing. It's all like one story. They're all set in the same, basically with the Red Room theme, but they're all kind of about something else set in that world, and. I thought they were going to do, because they do introduce a new guy and a new killer, and it's the kind of the guy they show right here on the cover, but it's really about this guy, and we meet this guy. I'm bad with names, if you watch my channel, but is this guy, and he's in prison, and basically the government comes to him and he's like, bro, we need your help. He was like, you set up this stuff on the dark web back when the dark web kind of first started, and your data and your coding now is what the Red Room streamers are using to like hide and stay away from us and keep their anonymity. And basically they hire this guy, they let him out of jail, and basically they hire him to kind of like recode and try and track down who's doing it, and find out if they can disperse them. So I mean, they show him, and at first I said he was in jail. They were explaining what the Red Room is, and then he gets home and he spends some time, kind of investigating the Red Room, and he's like, his mind is blown. He also doesn't like the fact that his coding is being used in that fashion. His girlfriend is at home, like, waiting for him, and these are some of the scenes that I showed you before. She kind of gets curious and starts checking it out, and it is, I mean, it grosses her the heck out, because she kind of hops into this guy with these grenades, attached to his head. Yeah, and it don't end there, but that's all I'm going to show you for now. But she is kind of like grossed out, and the fact that, and they both had something to do with the coding, so she is like all head for trying to help. It shows him going to the government, and they really can't help because everything's like classified one way or the other. But it does show you that both of them are kind of on the trail, and they're trying to do something to help the FBI or whoever's after the Red Room people. And basically at the very end we kind of get these scenes right here, and they were like very mellow. But this is his girlfriend or wife maybe, and she is in the Red Room chats, and we find out that she might be the main reason why the Red Rooms exist, and he just doesn't know it. She kind of reveals that she's kind of hoping he can figure it out, so she can find a way out without just quitting and revealing who she is, because she has a feeling if she does, she'll probably end up dead. So she can't really help him, but I mean, she's kind of hoping he's a genius enough where he can crack the Red Room code type thing. It was a really great read. The art is stellar. I mean, yes, it is very graphic, but it's not graphic on nudity side. I think there might have been a half a nipple shot, but really it's graphic in the it's about killing people for money, graphic nature. Next up is a book that is really hard to review, kinda in a nutshell. I love this so far. This is God Killer Tomorrow's Ashes #2 from Black Mask. And it's crazy. It's got sex magic, it's got sex witches, it's got pimps, it's got detectives, it's got a guy named Wolf. Our main, it's really about, in a nutshell, it's about this orphan named Tommy, and this chick named Halfpike, and another girl named, and a guy named Basil. And the Basil is like this drug lord. Somehow he gets a hold of Tommy, and basically holds him hostage. He sends Halfpike on this amazing adventure to like find something and to free Tommy, and all that happens in the first volume. Well, this is the second volume after a lot of stuff is happening, and a whole bunch of stuff, like I mentioned, sex magic and sex witches, and but at the to sum it up in the very last episode, Tommy is still kidnapped. For somehow his arm his arm had been taken off, and now he has a metal arm. Half Pike has traded her eyes with this bar owner that also trades antiquities as far as like magical items and stuff like that. But we see here that these are Tommy's captors, and they are trying to get some kind of information out of Tommy. And it's Wolf and this other guy. They show that they are watching Tommy, and all he has been doing is masturbating. That's what they see. But remember I said something about sex magic? Well, bam. He is masturbating, and like somehow he is able to, like, right when he gets to that cuff like you can see that he's starting to see Half Pipe, and he's trying to like send her a message, and well, Mr. Big Bad Wolf comes in and starts messing with the girl that's watching the screens and everything, and they kind of have a rough and tussle. There is a brief slab of nudity, so I'm not going to go in and show you everything, because this book has more than a little bit of nudity. It has at least a couple pages full. But let's just say Mr. Big Bad Wolf and that girl had some fun, and they missed some stuff on the camera. Like I said, sex magic, right? Well, because they were kind of having some fun. We see that Tommy was able to achieve what he was trying to do, and he did it so well he teleports like directly where Half Pipe was just at in the last issue. Up here, you can see this like dragon's head thing. That was like something that Half Pipe and this bounty hunter girl sold to the barkeep here. We learned that he is there like in kind of ghost form using this sex magic, and he's kind of floating around trying to figure out what's going on. He doesn't understand why he's in this bar. He can't imagine why his friend Half Pike would be here. He does recognize this guy at the bar who they show right here, and it's one of the guys that like helped kidnap him in the beginning. The guy at the bar is trying to sell the bartender something, and she's not buying it. He's trying, the ghost, Tommy, is trying to fuck with the guy at the bar. He doesn't like, you know, I mean, of course he helped get him kidnapped. And he's having a hard time, and all of a sudden he realizes that the bartender has been talking to him and not the guy at the bar. The guy at the bar is even kind of creeped out because he thought he was talking to him and realized that she's talking to Ghost Tommy. Somehow she can see Ghost Tommy, and it is revealed that it's because this is the girl that Half Pipe traded her eyes to. Somehow they have some kind of link or something like that, and because now this girl has her eyes, you know, that's how she can see Tommy. So now Tommy realizes that, you know, that this girl has her eyes, and that something went wrong as far as with Tommy. Eventually, like, he gets cast back into his prison. He is extremely distraught that he is in this prison cell now, learning that Half Pike is on some level kind of failed because she had to trade in her eyes with this weird barkeep. So he is trying to escape desperately. And I mean, he is failing. It has something to do with his arm, and he finally kind of realizes, because they replaced it, but it was a metal arm, and I've just been thinking, man, use the metal arm. But he does. He realizes that, you know, he can punch, and it does hurt for a second, and eventually he punches through with that metal arm, and he can induce more force with that metal arm. The whole time, the Wolf and the Big Bad Girl, all this was going on while they were having their fun, so they didn't realize that Tommy has escaped. And they just show you on the next cover that Tommy is free. But hey, that's my reviews. I will put the time codes down below. I need to start doing it before, but hey, like, comment, share, subscribe if you read any of these, if any of these sounded good. Man, all those were really great reads, especially the very last one. Even though it sounds extremely bizarre, it's still a fun, great read, something extremely different. But hey, tell your friends. Alright, evil out.